Russian stocks as well as the ruble were down on the MICEX-RTS exchange today as the US Federal Reserve failed to provide any monetary stimulus. With a question mark over Russia's economic future, I am joined down the line today by Timothy Stubbs, Head of Russian Banking and Finance Practice for Salans International Law Firm, to give me his view on the economic situation. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Stubbs. First of all, do you feel investors are afraid to commit to Russia at this time?
Well, I think investors generally have the jitters globally. And so whilst you have opportunities arising, by and large, investors are concerned about what's going to happen in the global economy. And so I'm sure that that's also impacting on stock prices. In terms of Russia, the stock price follows the price of oil because Russia's economy is so dependent upon oil and has not branched out into a value-added economy. People see the oil price as something which is going to continue to impact directly on the economy and hence on equities prices.
You are based in Moscow, Russia, as we speak. In your opinion, what is the general feeling of the Russian people towards their economy?
I think there's a lot of concern amongst Russian investors about what's going to happen in the country, particularly since the parliamentary elections. I don't know if you've looked at the flight capital figures for the fourth quarter of 2011 or the first two quarters of 2012, but Russia has seen, ever since the parliamentary elections, where there was a lot of election fraud and then growing dissatisfaction amongst the populace here, where you had opposition protests out on the street of a scale unseen in Russia since the breakup of the Soviet Union. People are feeling very jittery about what's happening, and I think you've seen a lot of capital exiting. You have a lot of flight capital that's exited in the last 6 to 8 months from Russia, and it's continuing. And so I think there's a lot of concern on people's part about what's going to happen in Russia in the future, and I think that is also bearing directly on the prices of equity and the willingness of foreign investors to come in and to brave the Russian marketplace.
And what, in your opinion, can the banks do to help Russia withstand a new economic crisis?
Well, the banks can provide liquidity because there's a certain amount of leveraging that needs to continue to take place. The banks can provide liquidity to the extent that they can. I mean that. The banks could also put more pressure on the government to clean its act up, I think. But unfortunately, that would involve lobbying and political activities that might force the government to dig its heels in.
Finally, what do you see happening for the Russian economy in the short and long term? I
think there's a lot of pluses for the country, and it has a lot of promise. The problem is how the government is going to deal with providing a platform, a venue for the social forces to speak and to have communication openly about the problems that exist and how to deal with them. So, in terms of the business, long-term business opportunities, I see them as enormous here. Short-term opportunities, as long as the price of oil remains high, there's a lot of opportunity here in terms of agriculture, in terms of retail and real estate, in terms of IT industry. There's a lot of very big short-term opportunities here.
Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Stubbs, and sharing your personal experience with our viewers. That's all from me, but you can find more interviews and updates on our website. For now, goodbye.